again, everybody. Welcome to this week's edition of the Wrestling Huddle. I'm Review Sports Editor Mike Brown, joined by the guru of grappling, Bob Steer. Bob, here we are. This is it. It's the week before state. It's what everybody builds toward. The kids are at the doorstep of Columbus, and exciting time for us and the wrestlers.
As I mentioned last week, these are my three favorite weeks of the year.
Yeah.
Last weekend we had some fantastic wrestling at West Branch that we were able to take in, and you take it up another level this week at the Alliance District.
Right, and especially the Alliance District and the Firestone District before it was the Alliance District is just a meat grinder. And if you can make it through there, you've got a great shot to do something in Columbus, and it looks that way again.
Absolutely, I think that just making it out of Alliance gives you. Yeah. I would say, almost a 50-50 shot down in Columbus, because there are some districts that just don't match up with Alliance.
Yes, and we've talked about those. But this one is really battle-tested, and it gives you staying power in Columbus if you can make it out of this one. Well, let's talk about that. We have 44 kids altogether between the Alliance District and then the other two districts that have area kids in it going to there. And usually rule of thumb is about a fourth of those kids make it out. That tells you how tough it is to get out of a district in northeastern Ohio. In particular, let's talk about the Alliance District. We've got West Branch there, we've got Alliance there, we've got Southeast there, some other teams there. Break it down. What's it look like to you overall, some of the top wrestlers and the top teams?
Well, some of the top wrestlers and really, I see West Branch as having the potential of getting the most through.
Yeah, I agree.
Just looking at the brackets and seeing how they played out. I think you have to start at 160 again, just like we did last week.
Right.
I think West Branch and Marlington both have a good shot of getting Mason Hughes and Tony Rupert out. Yes. They're in opposite halves of the bracket. It could be a finals. One of them may have to battle back through consolations, but I really am pretty confident that those two have a real good chance of both making it out of the same weight class.
Yeah, that weight class last week at West Branch was just awesome. And you said that going in, and that's how it played out.
It was almost ridiculous. Yeah. I mean, it was like a district feeling to it, and it was only a sectional. I hate to say only a sectional, but it was the step before district, but it had that district feel to it.
And I think we'll see that play out the district, just how strong that weight class was, because I think, like you said, a lot of those kids will probably make it out in the Alliance District this week.
I mean, there's a couple other kids. I know Fosnot from Padua. I've known him for a while. He's a good wrestler, but honestly, I think any of those four could beat him.
Right.
So, it's on a given day. So really, it's possible 3 to 4 of those could make it. Definitely, I can't see 2 of them not making it.
Right. Yeah, it's an amazing weight class. It really is. Yeah. Well, let's talk about some of the top other area hopefuls this weekend at the Alliance District.
Sure. Well, let's start with West Branch. Like I said, I feel like they have the most potential guys to make it out. I think we start with Mason Hughes. Then you have to look at Ian Sharp at heavyweight. He comes out as a
great name too.
Yep. He comes out as a sectional 1, which obviously helps tremendously. And he's beaten some of the top kids. The Bell kid from Howland is one of the top in the state, and he was able to turn the tables and beat him at sectionals. So he's going to have some battles. There's some other good kids out there, but I think Ian is definitely has a good chance, good chance of advancing. And you look at Alex Schoffer at 106. Right. I think he had some. There's a couple guys that were projected to be in his weight that ended up not being in his weight. Right. Terrell Grant ended up at 113. Yes. Everyone thought he was going to be at 6, and there was another youngster that ended up not making weight, I think, last week. So, not that you need a break, but you'll take any break you can get. Absolutely. And I think that might have opened the door for Alec too. I mean, there's some fantastic kids in that weight, but I really like Al's chances of getting down there.
That's good.
And last for West Branch, Matt Steer at 138. I think if he wrestles to his capability, he has a real good chance of making it down. Right. Just looking at his bracket, I think it's favorable for him, to possibly make the step. He was a district placer last year, so to take that next step.
Absolutely. How about let's look at Marlington Alliance, Bob?
Well, Marlington, we already talked about Rupert. I really like Tony's chances of getting down. Another one is Brennan Joseph, but I'll tell you, Brennan Joseph is in a tough weight class. We saw that at sectionals with Brett Bailey from Southeast, and he's another one that I have penciled in going to Columbus, barring something bad happening. I can definitely see Brett being down there. So you've got him to contend with. You've got C.J. Frost just from our sectional, and then there's other top caliber kids from some of the other sectionals. So honestly, Brennan's going to have a tough go, but he's a tough kid. He was resilient last year and was a district finalist, and I can really see him stepping up and getting it done for Arlington. Another one would be Ben Higgins, I think.
Okay.
Not real familiar with the heavier weights and the depth of talent there, but I know he's a good kid, and you know, he certainly has potential to get there. Just looking at the bracket and looking at some of the records and where they're from, and you know, I think he has a chance,
right.
You know, a fighting chance if he wrestles at the top of his game. I would give him a pretty good chance.
Right.
You know, jumping to Alliance, I think surprisingly, you know, Christian Jackson, it's just so unfortunate that he's been out all year, and you could see the rust last weekend. You know, I laughed with him that, you know, it just didn't seem like him out there. But he's got another week to knock the rust off.
He survived and he moved on. He's got that chance.
That's all that matters. He survived and he actually made it out as a 2, which is good. And he's had another week to knock the rust off. So, you know, hopefully if he can take another step, just get, you know, that much better, get to Columbus, have another week to knock the rust off, and maybe get back on the podium like he was last year.
Absolutely.
But he's going to have a tough go. Spencer Nagy, I think, really jumps out as, you know, he's had such a great career at Alliance, but has come up short. You know, he's had so many injuries he's had to deal with and lots of adversity. This is his year, I think. You know, knock on wood, but I think this is Spencer's year. I think we're in this. We're going to see some special things from him.
And when you're a senior, you know this is it.
This is it.
That's the ultimate motivation for a lot of kids, I think.
Yep. So I'm really looking forward to watching him wrestle. He's got a tough second round match against an old nemesis, Sandy Dobbin. And Dobbin's had the best of him in the past, but you know, I think Spencer can turn the tables there. But even if he doesn't, I see a reasonable wrestle back through. I think Spencer's going to get out.
Sure.
Yeah, and just looking around, we already talked about Brett Bailey.
Sure.
I think he's really solid at 132. He really looks good this year. And, you know, Salem, Jesse Slocum at 182.
There's a good wrestler.
He was very impressive. Yes. He came out determined in that championship match at sectionals against Radish from Howland, who had his number a couple weeks before at the EOWL. And Slocum really took it to him. So I can see Jesse, tough weight class, but I can see him getting out. Another one is Cade Byland in that brutal 160-pound class we talked about. Even though he finished 4th at sectionals, he's the kind of kid that can really beat anyone there. He beat Rupert during the year. He has a couple. He beat Audie during the season. Of course, he lost in the sectionals, but he's the kind of kid that can literally beat anyone in any match. So. He's one of those that's kind of a flip of a coin. You know, I think he's capable of doing it, but just a brutal weight class.
Right, sure. Well, we've got, of the 44 kids going to the district this weekend, we've got 28 area kids wrestling at the Alliance District, but we have a couple other districts where we've got in the Division III Garfield Heights District, Waterloo will be represented there, as well as St. Thomas and United Local. And United Local has a young man who made it to state last year coming back. So I would think they would have a good shot. And then obviously we have the Minerva. Minerva got 8 kids out of the Claymont sectional last week. And, you know, they've got some really talented, that's why Dalton Hawthorne, who was coming back from an injury. And I would think that he would probably lead the group down there when they go to the district this weekend, too. Anything to say about that district, Bob?
I agree with you. I think Dalton is the cream of the crop as far as the local wrestlers down at that district. And yeah, I look for Minerva to have a good day. They have a mixture of some experienced guys and some young kids. So the younger guys are going to get a good experience because they got a lot of them through out of the sectionals. So they're going to have a good experience at the district there. And yeah, I think Dalton leads the way. I haven't studied those brackets to see any of their other guys like Fritzy and those guys if they have what kind of draw they have. But, you know, you never know. It's one of those where you never know. A lot can come down to the draw.
It sure can, absolutely. We talked about that last week, and that is so true. Everybody's good at this point. Now it comes down to what kind of draw did you get. And how do you wrestle? How do you handle the challenge of a district wrestling tournament, which is just a meat grinder, really, especially the Alliance District. So
there was one other weight I wanted to mention too, because I wrote it in a separate section here, because we have 3 local kids in 120 at the Alliance District, and I'll tell you, 120 is just so tough. But from Southeast, Corey Pastava, I think, has a pretty good chance of making it to Columbus, and I should have mentioned him. But we also have Eric Gerbach and Travis Pigeon. Gerbach from Marlington, Pigeon from West Branch. You know, high quality wrestlers. But you look at that weight. The top 3 kids in the state right now in that weight are, or at least in this district, ranking wise, are freshmen.
Wow.
Freeman from Lake Catholic, Weimer from St. V, and Deshawn, Hunter Deshawn. So there's 3 guys. A lot of people have Corey coming out as the 4th from Southeast. So I would agree with that. I think he has a good shot. But just unfortunate, especially for a senior like Pigeon. I know I don't want to give any details, but he's battling some injuries and. He's a little banged up, and you hate to see that, but I'm sure he's going to give it his all. Yeah. And but just a brutal weight, just an absolutely brutal weight. But Corey Possible, I want to make sure to mention him too.
That's great. Well, it should be an exciting weekend as it always is, and action will get underway at the Alliance District. That'll go Friday afternoon at 3 o'clock. Everything begins, and then it resumes on Saturday morning at 10 a.m. And the finals will be at 6 o'clock on Saturday evening. And as I said before, and we said all along, Bob, what an exciting time. They're at the doorstep, and now it's up to them. And you see certain guys step up, and other guys, just have to give it their best. But it should be a fun weekend, as it always is. Our area is so strong for wrestling. We traditionally get in double figures guys to state, and very few other areas do that. That tells you how good this area is. So, I know Bob's looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it. So we'll see you on the mat.